Hey everybody, so I'm really excited to announce Light No Fire by Hello Games. Yes, the same creators that made No Man's Skies. They are now going even more ambitious and creating basically the largest world they've ever done. They've basically said as big as Earth, if you can believe that. So if we go to the press kit here, you can see the description. Light No Fire is a game about adventure, building, survival, and exploration together, set on a fantasy planet the size of Earth. It brings depth of role playing games to freedom of survival sandbox. So basically, I've always been a sandbox fan, especially when it's like an MMO style. And basically, it looks like Sean Murray, of all people, is going to create basically my dream game that has failed over and over and over because companies either usually go too ambitious or they make it just not work right. And I think Sean Murray, especially with what he's done with No Man's Skies, is going to make something amazing, and his team. So no release date yet, no platforms announced yet. So features multiplayer Earth, carve life together, meet players from across the globe, build a life, explore and survive together, construct persistent buildings and communities, or strike out alone and discover the world for others. Procedural Earth, a true open world with no boundaries at a scale never attempted before. A massive, varied, dense planet filled with immersive biomes, unique enemies, and valuable resources to discover. A fantasy Earth. Light No Fire has presents with an ancient Earth to uncover. One where you're not the hero. One where you're not the hero. There you go. We're just a random player, right? Thick with lore, mystery, and constant fight for survival. Inspired the adventure, charm, and imagination we love from classic fantasy. And then the unexplored Earth. Every mountain can be climbed, and below them lie endless vistas, oceans, and continents perhaps no others have seen. Who will climb the tallest mountains? Who will find the deepest sea? Set sail across vast oceans and rivers, ride wild beasts through fantastical landscapes, fly dragons over undiscovered landscapes. Now, before we go on the trailer, just imagine this. Just take a minute. So those people who've played No Man's Skies or have followed it enough, there's been like 20 updates, might be even more than that. Just imagine they're doing pretty much an update every 3 months ish these days. Now imagine an MMO scale Earth-size world where you could never explore every part of it. No player could ever do that. And it's a live service game. Knowing Hello Games won't even charge anything online. It'll probably be literally buy the game and enjoy the world. It'll probably use P2P stuff and whatnot to keep the costs down. But imagine them creating something that immense that you can come back every 3 months and there's always content, always new features, always something new to do. There's new players to meet. There's that role-playing social aspect of just running around the world and meeting people and checking out their builds or going to a place to fight, things like that. Just think of how awesome that could be. I mean, to me, I feel like there's no game that's ever done it properly. I've done a lot of games. I've played a lot of games. I've always kept an eye on those sandbox games like Mortal Online, things like that. But I don't think anyone's ever really done it to the way I wanted. I think EverQuest Next and Landmarks was getting closer to that vision, and that of course died. But I think this is the closest to that vision now. From what we can tell, and we didn't watch it long, you might not be able to do any trains, modifications, but we don't know that, because you can do that in No Man's Sky. So that doesn't mean you can't do it in here. But anyways, let's watch the trailer here together and see what we got here.
I'm a female rebel.
amazing is that? Now, I wanted to just say, first of all, we can go backwards here for a second here. Is this a peak to showing underground here? Obviously, I don't know if. Well, actually, after playing No Man's Skies, I can see them doing graphics like this and visuals. But I'm guessing this is part of the logo. But is this a preview just showing us? Yes, there is going to be an underground, or there will be an underground. One of the kind of concerns I have, it's a slight concern, and it shouldn't be concerning. The game's not out, and I don't want to be one of those negative people, but for No Man's Skies, one of the reasons they didn't keep updating biomes too much on planets or redoing the planets is because people would build on those planets and it would look good, and then if they do a big update they can kind of ruin your looks and designs and things like that. So they kind of stopped doing that. I think they added some more planets and stuff over time, but they didn't want to mess with the generation, the seed, things like that. And that makes sense. They wouldn't want to do that, especially in a world like this. I mean, because it's supposed to be this big procedural Earth, like things need to be somewhat static. So I'm kind of wondering if tapping underground could be something really cool, like creating pockets of like a mystical underground caverns that could be like almost like if you've seen some of the new World of Warcraft content coming out, the next expansion, I believe a big chunk of it's underground, for example. But I wonder if they can do things like that because they're going to add content and features over time, but they're going to want to do bigger ones over time as well, where they kind of expand the world itself with new features and content. But maybe they have a new system where they can implant new type of biomes and things like that without disrupting what players have now. They can go to an area that players haven't discovered. I mean, it's Earth-like, so even if hundreds of thousands of players are playing, more likely they won't find the exact spots. They can always add new content for our continent. For example, they have ocean, right? So they can plant a new continent out in that ocean at random, and then boom, you got something. But anyways, I'm not going to be too crazy or negative about that, but this is just beautiful. The graphics are amazing. Everything about this is great. Procedural generated, I like this view right here. If you guys ever played like EverQuest or EverQuest 2 or like some of the older games here, it even reminds me of Skyrim. This is just such a cool look to this and a feeling. It gives you those, it really gives you that RPG vibe. Except you have to remember, this is an open procedural world where you could walk, as far as I know, forever pretty much in one direction. Whether or not it loops, I don't care. Basically, you could do it for days, weeks, and you'll never get anywhere because it's such a big world, which is really cool. And you got wrecked ruins and things like that. I think No Man's Skies over time has done a really good job of planting in ruins and things like that in the game. How they've done it with No Man's Skies and just adding things, and I think because they're working on this from scratch, they've probably learned a lot to help implant new features to a game. That maybe it's not easy with No Man's Skies because it is at a stage. The interface, you can see the interface up here. We got some information here, down here on the right, and it's so little. It's amazing. Oh, and one thing, if you didn't notice here, that's an otter. That's an otter with feet, it looks like. But that dude looks like a bloody otter. So I think that's really cool. So the swimming system, everything looks very polished here. They definitely want you to dive down water. Now I didn't see, or I tried to look, I saw nothing about being able to dig in the ground, but that is because I think that there is going to be no digging right now. Look at this. So there are some of these other scenes. I don't want to miss them here. There's a desert thing area here. Look how cool this is. Obviously there's information here. There's special stuff going on that we have no clue yet, but yeah, here's hang gliding. Excuse me. So we can literally grab a glider and glide off, and this one looks like it's even a nicer, funner design. It looks like, oh no, actually I think there's a second person there. There's boots there. I thought for a second this was a double designed hang glider, but it does look like it's a different color. So either it has LOD or it's two different style gliders. But that's the beauty about No Man's Skies. I mean, they had already decent customization for a game that wasn't really about customization. Like when I'm talking about like characters themselves, it was very basic, but they added a lot over time. So And here's our dragons and stuff. This is the houses. You can see the guy building the house there. He just threw all those bricks up, which is awesome. I like the animations coming from the ground up. And this guy's cutting a tree down. So, I mean, obviously, you probably can cut a tree down. That being said, we didn't physically see, I don't think, a tree falling down. I'm guessing it's not going to be one of those games where you tap the node and it empties. I mean, it could be, but I mean, already they have the technology, they can do all that. But at the same time, I mean, I wonder how they're going to deal with the griefing type idea. I'm guessing because the world is so big, people can claim a large area and not have to worry about that. But imagine somebody coming around your property and, I don't know, taking down all the trees that you don't want. Can you replant them? Things like that. There's a lot to it that we'd have to learn. But I also noticed in the water here, you got little sailboats here. These look like rafts more than sailboats. There's one here too, and they look like they might have. No, those look the same. Yeah, those are the smaller rafts. We saw some boats as well. Was there anything cool in the flashes there? It's kind of hard to see them. No, that's pretty nice looking though. And this was this looks like a player made structure. I wouldn't say it's I think they were trying to do like Lord of the Rings kind of thing or whatever, the fire's lit in here, but this is just somebody threw it on top of there. So this is what you'd get on an online game. Obviously, not everything's gonna be smooth and perfect. The only thing I could say is to make some stuff look nicer is potentially, let's go back to this floating island, potentially having them go deeper down. But if you're allowed to build up in the air eventually, if that is a feature, this almost looks like it could be that rabbit place that we see further in the trailer. But if you can build up in the sky, you of course don't want them to clip too under the ground. But if they have a detection, it'd be kind of cool that some of the models have a longer base possibly that can spawn under it, just to give it a better look. An automatic look to that. You got your fire here. You got a staff here. So somebody's got a staff weapon here. It looks like there's a crossbow, or not crossbow, a bow there. This thing looks really cool. And here you go. You got the mounted guys here. This is what was that, Sweet Tooth or whatever, the Netflix show here. So this is my prediction. This could have been that island we saw. This was interesting. I like the bunnies bowing. Of course, you can be a bunny as well here. This looks like the otter right here, for example. This is interesting. The Shrek guy back there. I like that. Look at how cool that is. And back onto our sweet dragons. I didn't mention basic things like, hey, there's a dragon. Obviously, that's pretty basic. And of course, that logo again. There was something else I missed here I wanted to show you. It was, I think, I don't know if there was something here. Yeah. There was a spot where I think there was boats. Oh, wait, let's go back there for a second. How much did I screw that up? That was cool. Oh, yeah, there you go. It was a flash scene. That's why. I was like, I was certain. How do we do the speed stuff on here? I'm not really good at this. Oh, here, and then play back. There you go. So we can slow this down, make it a little easier. There you go. So this is the actual sailboats here. So they talked about taking, journeys across the sea and stuff like that and explore. So you got multiple people in the sailboat. So I'm guessing that if they don't move while you're walking, at least you can sit down there. We don't know how that's going to work yet. Here's more. This is actually fighting and combat. Obviously, here they're hunting. Here, some boar-looking creatures here or something. Here is the rave crab here. That's awesome. Yeah, pretty damn cool, to be fair. Where's the other flashback? Was just checking here. Happens right around here, doesn't it? Oh, I think it just goes to this one. But yeah. Anyways, I think I'll leave it there. I just wanted to show you guys this game. I'll put more information in the description, but I'm really looking forward to it. The press kit has a few screenshots here. So you start on the mountain. Here's the guys, doing their thing. These might actually be from the trailer because they do look pretty darn similar. But yeah, so you got the person cutting the wood, people moving logs, so they're physically moving the logs themselves, which I like. I see the animation here, and I almost wondered when we saw the bricks coming from the ground. I was wondering if it's actually coming from their inventory or possibly there's some sort of storage in the base and it was linked to the player. Like they give you like a link in the area and it was coming from that. Because it might be a bit more on the hardcore survival kind of where, um, you're supposed to like work and, you can't just have, an insane amount of inventory space. And if we go to the YouTube's, the Steam here, you can see, so there's near the end there, that cool monument and here's the bunny rabbits for Shrek again. And that cool picture. I like this one. This is just such a cool looking picture to me. And then this one again here with the dragons, which looks awesome too. I just like the building. And that's it on Steam right now. Same description and information here. You can't even visit the community forums, but you can definitely follow them. Wish list them. Sorry, you can't even follow them yet, but you can definitely add them to your wish list. So either way, my friends, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm definitely going to do more light updates on the Light No Fire. This is going to be a big deal to me. This is something I've wanted for a long time. It's kind of a dream, and it looks like Hello Games, which is one of my top favorite games, especially what they've done with No Man's Skies. It's going to be an amazing game. I'm really, really looking forward to it, and I hope you guys will join us for more of it in the future. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and we'll see wonderful people next time. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.